Hey, before we start with this video, I just want to ask y'all for a favor. The new channel just getting started. If you could like and subscribe and share it and maybe post a comment below, that would do the algorithm a world of good. It could use a little juice right now. This is a fun thing for me, but of course I do want to see it get a little bit of traction. Fusion tutorials will be a big part of what we do here, but there's some fun things I'm working on. This is my own personal hell right now, which hopefully will be the next video I make. It'll be a little while. I've got a lot of figuring out to do, but yeah, like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. Also, don't forget woodworking.com. There's like full-on tutorial PDFs that you could download and follow along with. The actual posts on the website are filled with the same information. It's a lot of really good information. I spent a lot of time putting it together, and I think it'll be really useful for people learning Fusion. So please make sure to go to the website and download stuff too. And yeah, I appreciate all of the juice you can give me. I'll take all you got right now. Thanks, y'all. Hey, I'm Ben. Welcome to Woodworking. Today we're going to do another Fusion 360 tutorial. Today we're going to make a little shaker table. Well, we're going to do a model for like a full-size shaker table. I happened to downscale it and 3D print it just to see if I could, and it turned out pretty cool. And I love my little teeny tiny table. This is the first project that I modeled that made me really think I need to show people how powerful parametric modeling is. And you're going to see why. We're going to like take that table and we're going to turn it into a whole bunch of different things. And if you are not sold on parametric modeling right now, by the end of this video, I think you will be. Yes, there are hoops to jump through when doing a parametric model. I think it's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth putting the time in to learn it. And it's just going to pay itself back in spades later on. So let's jump into Fusion. We have our parameters all set to go. If you don't know how to get here and how to put in parameters, you should not start on video number 4. You should go back to video number 1. A lot of these dimensions are based off of a friend of mine, Mike Pekovich. He did a sewing table for his wife, featured it in a book of his, and it's been published in Fine Woodworking magazine. And it's a really cool size. So I really like the dimensions of that table. So I started with those dimensions, but this table is going to look entirely different, obviously. So it's 27 3/8 of an inch tall, 26 inches wide, 14 inches deep. The top is going to be 3/4 of an inch. The overhang on my table is going to be 2 inches from the legs. The legs will come from 1.5 inch stock. Bottom of the leg is going to taper down to 1 inch. The taper starts 1/4 of an inch under the apron. The apron is going to be 3 inches tall, and the offset of the apron, which is the apron is inset from the leg. I think you could see that nicely. In this model right now, it is 1/4 of an inch. So let's get started. We're going to make a sketch, go off the front, new sketch, select that plane. And we're going to do a rectangle that is height times width. And this is something that you've seen me do before, but maybe not explain. I'm going to double select that and I'm going to change the line type to construction. And the only thing that this does is it's not an extrudable sketch element. It is just a construction line. So I can constrain other lines to it. I can dimension other lines to it. I can use it just like anything else, but I can't make anything out of it. It is just for reference. And I'm going to do another reference line off the center, and I'm going to hit X. And if you look over here, the line type changes from construction and off and on every time I hit X. So I'm going to go from the midpoint of this one just straight down. And there we go. Hit R and turn off construction line because I'm going to make the top of the table. And it is top thickness. And hit that return. Now that is still blue. If you look, it's not constrained. And so that did not get, I did it in the wrong order. I'll show you when I make the leg. If I just grab it and drag it back to that construction line, now it is fully constrained. So let's make the leg. And so here's the order that I did wrong. Okay. I need the leg. I'm going to put my dimension in here, leg thickness, and then I'm going to go to that far end. And now you can see that's black. That's black. The only thing that's blue is the sides because it's not constrained in space. So I'm going to put a dimension in there of overhang. And there we go. Double select that, mirror it, mirror line. There's our second leg. Do an apron. Apron height. And let's add in our taper. And I want the rectangular blank. As you can see, I just went from a random spot there. Now, when I zoom in, I don't want to hit that center point because that would make it stuck at the center. So I'm just going to go to a random point on the bottom, add the dimension of leg bottom, and add the dimension up here to apron, taper to apron. There's got to be a better name for that. But all right, so here is our taper. And this is my leg and this is my negative. But I want the full square, and you'll see why in just a minute. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to extrude out that full leg. And you have a decision to make every time you do a single sketch project. I like to have one sketch that drives as much of the elements of a piece of furniture as possible. The problem with that is you have to decide where that sketch begins. And the first thing you extrude generally tells you what that is. So I'm going to do the sketch so that it is based off of the leg. And I'll show you why. It complicates things a little bit more further down the road for the top. But let's just do it based off the front of the leg, and we'll just take it from there. We'll just agree to agree on that, right? You could do it off the top. That has a whole different set of issues. But we are going to use a tool that really likes to function off of the face of that sketch. So I'll show you right now. So let's extrude out that full block. And I'm going to extrude that out leg thickness. And there we go. So the sketch went away. We need to get the sketch back. Okay, so we've extruded that. Now I'm going to select this negative, and I am going to go to create, and I'm going to sweep. And that profile is what we're sweeping. I'm going to select the path next. And I want to have a double tapered leg. So I'm going to select those two sides. Now, if you wanted to, you can select the third side. To select the fourth side, you sometimes have to hide that sketch and select a fourth side. So that's a four-sided taper. I don't need that in my life, but the ability to select a four-sided taper is why we based the sketch off of the front of that leg. If you offset that leg first, you can generally get two sides or even a third side of the taper in a sweep, but it won't let you double back around to the fourth side. It just doesn't like doing it. There might be a way of doing it. I've yet to figure it out. So this is why we are basing the sketch off of the front of that leg. It's worth the complication later. And it's honestly not necessary for a double-sided taper, but if you wanted to do four sides, it would be necessary. So I'm going to hit OK, and we've got our taper going there, and we've got our taper going there. Now, I need to extrude out the top. So now the top has been extruded. this sketch is kind of in the wrong spot, right? So we need to extrude in 2 different directions. So side 2, I am going to extrude overhang, right? Now side 1, I can't go the depth, right? If I go the depth, now we've got the depth plus this overhang. I need to go the depth minus the top overhang. Tabletop is 14 inches deep. That extrusion went in 2 different directions. Now I made a mistake and I did a join operation. So I'm just going to go back and go new body. And there we go. Last thing I'll extrude right now, I'm going to extrude this apron. Oh, I don't have, well, that's okay. I don't need it right now. I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch and I need to offset that. Apron offset 1/4 of an inch. And I thought I made a parameter for apron thickness, but I didn't, but that's fine. And we'll make a new body and there we go. So we have our top, and let's hide that sketch. We have our top, we have our leg, and we have our apron all offset from one another. Now, we need to use this top, which is the overall footprint of the table, and we need to make some midpoint planes now because we need to be doing a bunch of mirroring. So I'm going to go to construct and midplane, select that side, and that gives me a plane right in the middle there. And I'm going to do it one more time and select the front and select the back, and that gives us a second midplane. So now we can take this leg and I'm going to go mirror, select the leg, mirror plane, that one, and there we go. And the reason why we need to mirror is our tapers are on the inside because it was mirrored. And we need 2 more legs. So we're going to go mirror, select these 2 legs, and now select this midpoint plane. And there we go. Now, we need side aprons. So I'm going to draw in a side apron on that original sketch because one sketch to rule them all. It's the easiest way to do it if you can. Apron was 3/4 of an inch thick, and I'm going to go apron height. And now we need to constrain that, apron offset, and finish the sketch. Sweep that around. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a different type of extrude. I'm going to hit E still to extrude. Instead of doing a profile offset, I'm going to go from an object. And the next object I hit is now where that extrude starts. And now I'm going to go to extent type and go to object again. And the next object I hit is where that extrude ends. And new body, and there we go. We can hide that sketch and we can spin it around, and now we just need to mirror some more. So I'm going to mirror that side apron, and there we go. There is our table. That's a nice looking table. Hide those construction lines, and yeah, it's pretty good looking. Let's make sure that we did okay with our parametric modeling though. Tell you what, I'm going to put in the comments the originals. All right, so let's change things up a little bit. Expression, let's go 18 inches tall, and let's go 32 inches wide, and let's go 24 inches deep. And we have kind of a little coffee table now, right? Let's do 32 tall, and let's do 40 wide, and let's do the depth now. We're gonna do 50, we're gonna do 64. And the top thickness is gonna be 1 inch, and the overhang is gonna be 4 inches, and the leg thickness is going to be 2.5, and at the bottom it's going to go to 1.5. The top one to the apron, I wonder if that needs to go, and let's do 3/4 of an inch and 4 inches for the apron and 1/8 of an inch for that. Now we have a dining room table. Look at that. So we started with a little side table, right? And we went to a coffee table, and then we went to a dining room table. And there's obviously tweaks to be done here, right? But you get what I'm saying. This is you make one shaker table with tapered legs and an apron, and you've now made all of the shaker tables with tapered legs and an apron. And I just think I'm smitten. One thing that we do need to do is let's undo and go back to our original. And I can't leave well enough alone. I'm going to go to 3/4 of an inch there. And 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to go with a 1/16 of an inch on the apron offset. And the top thickness is good. Yeah. Go to 1.5. And we really need to go back to our sketch, and let's add a nice big bevel to the top. And this is going to be 1.25 and 1/8 of an inch. And now we have this one little problem here. If I show that sketch, I can't grab that profile, right? So I'm going to open the sketch. I'm going to select that profile. I'm going to finish the sketch, and that profile is selected. Now I'm going to go to create, and I am going to go to sweep. Editing Ben here. As I was editing that, I got frustrated. I thought there's no way that that's the only way to do that. And sure enough, I found a YouTube video by someone named Print Practical. I will post a link in the description. And basically, if you want to get to a sketch profile that is hidden by a body, if you long click on it. So I'm click here, there we go. And then I go profile. Then it selects that profile. And now I can do my sweep. And I am going to go to sweep. And now we're going to select the path that our table sweep will happen upon. And let's hide our sketch. And that's looking pretty solid. That's looking pretty solid. I really like that. So I wonder if, sorry, it's so easy to change things. It's so easy to change things. There's no reason not to. 0.62, let's go 5/8 of an inch on the bottom. And that's looking really good to me. I'm well pleased with that. I'm well pleased with that. Okay. I'm going to leave it alone. You can go to woodworking.com and download this model, and you can play with it to your heart's content. I'm going to leave this one alone for now. I'm going to come back to it tomorrow, see what I think, mess with it some more, and over the course of the next week or so, just keep tweaking it until I'm ready to build. Again, how powerful is this? It's super powerful. And I just get really jazzed about the ability to change things at a whim. The less friction there is to changing design elements, the more likely you are to change something that might be bothering you just a little bit. Head on over to woodworking.com, download the model. Again, as always, I'll have step-by-steps to guide you through this whole process. If you want to download the PDF or follow along on the website and try it without the video playing, that's great. We're going to do more of these. Next time, we're going to start adding some curves into the work. A lot of different ways of doing curves with Fusion. A lot of confusing ways of doing curves with Fusion. So I'm going to try and dispel some of that confusion, and we're going to add some curves. If you are getting something out of these videos, please click the thumbs up. Please click the subscribe, and even better, tell someone about it. I wanted to get the word out there to wood dorks like you and me. This free program can do all of these things, and check it out. And I think it will make a lot of people's time in their wood shop more productive. And I hope it's been more productive for you. And I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching and sharing and liking and subscribing and all of that stuff. Sincerely, sincerely appreciated. Head on over to Wood Dorking. All right, we'll see you.